What up, Cubs fans? Man, I sound like Ron Luce there. This is Cubs on Tap, the official Cubs podcast of the On Tap Sports Network. I'm your co-host, Cody. You can follow me on Twitter at Cody on Tap, and I'm joined with my guy, Joe Maris. I feel like every show I've done in the last month, it's been with Joe, which is okay. Yeah. Not complaining about it. Not complaining. But I feel like it's become a very normal thing. Joe, obviously, we're here before the game has ended because it's just an absolute shit show at Wrigley Field tonight. But how you doing, man? How we're gonna try and make this as fun as possible. So how you doing?
Can't complain. What do you mean? Some Corbin Burns. What did you expect?
What'd you expect? Yeah. Okay, so if you've been under a rock all night, Corbin Burns has 14 strikeouts through 7 innings with like 77 pitches. Sources say that's not great, Bob. That's not good for the Cubs. As Dope Redbeard, shout out to Aaron. He's always in the stream. He says, "We suck again." Ha ha ha. Who's the actor who always says that in the Adam Sandler
Rob
movies?
Schneider.
Rob Schneider. Yes, thank you. I should have fucking known that. Anyway, shout out to Dope Redbeard for being in the stream. Spin zone. Canario hit another tank tonight, though. That's not 4 in 4 straight days, though.
Those have been just absolutely beautiful to watch. I'm not sure if it's 4.
I thought it was like 3 or 4 in like 4 consecutive days. Someone tell us.
Whatever it is, it's beautiful.
Yeah, he was part of the Chris Bryant trade, so
yep.
It'll be interesting to see how fast he comes up. I'm interested. I'm wondering.
He's like, Bend, right?
Yeah, he's a South Bend. I just it'll be interesting. I don't want to rush, but I'm also like way don't want to go through this kind of pain next year. I don't think we should have to be honest with you. And I could go into the whole spiel about that, but that's really not even what this tonight's show is all about. But we got some comments here. Let's see. Dope Redbeard says, I think he has a 9-game hitting streak with 4 straight bombs. Yeah, I thought he's talking about Canario. I mean, I thought that was something like that. So yeah, he's killing it down there. Scott from Iowa, he says, what's worse, tonight's game or finding out my son's football team that I'm coaching is the Packers? Oof. What? Like, is it like a what are those like little league football teams called? Like,
not Pee Wee.
Something like that. Something like that. And what did they name them after? Like NFL teams? Like everyone who played little league had played on the Cubs or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Dope Redbeard did confirm 4 straight bombs.
Yep, Dope Redbeard did confirm 4 straight bombs, 9-game hitting streak for Canario.
Like that.
You could call him up right now. He'd probably be the best hitter in the lineup for the Cubs, maybe outside of Rafael Ortega.
And on top of that good news, Keegan Thompson yesterday pitched for Iowa. 55 pitches, 34 strikes, 4 innings, 3 hits, no runs, and 2 strikeouts. 55 pitches, 34 strikes, pretty solid showing. Yeah. So I mean that's another thing, especially since we are going to see him very soon.
Yeah, no, I think he'll probably get a couple more.
Yeah, so if he only threw 55 pitches, I mean I don't know. 55 pitches is not a lot, but then again, Steele only threw like 70 something yesterday.
Yeah,
so
that's why I'm saying like maybe 1 or 2 more.
Right.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows?
It's a good sign though.
Mm-hmm. I think they probably want to get him to 75, just like how Steele was.
Yeah. Here's a question for you. Kyle Hendricks, Justin Steele, Keegan Thompson, and who else in the rotation next year? Or in Alec Mills. So who's like, if there was one free agent arm out there and you wanted them to be like a bottom of your rotation type guy, is there a guy out there that you've thought about that you think that could be good on the Cubs? Not named Jake Arrieta.
Right. Ron is always talking about Marcus Stroman. He's in love with that idea. I don't see it. I don't think he's a great fit for the rotation. Just like the culture. I don't know. There's not like, especially in the. I mean, maybe him coming would change that culture to make it more of an exciting thing. But it seems like, especially with Hendricks and Alec Mills, it's a very bland rotation.
Yeah.
So, but maybe Marcus Stroman come in and help change that. Nothing's popping off the top of my head. I'm not positive what the free agent class is for starting pitchers. It's not. I mean, I'm sure I think Marcus Stroman is probably the top candidate if I can remember right, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Marcus Syndergaard is in there too.
Oh no, Joe, you froze, and we're live. That's not great. Oh no. Well, guys, while Joe gets his internet figured out, I will continue. Hopefully, he can jump back in. We were talking about Marcus Stroman, and Marcus Stroman 2.83 ERA this year in 23 games, 23 starts, obviously 127 innings. That's not bad. 7 wins, 11 losses. And win-loss record doesn't mean anything in baseball. Never has, never will. As much as I love talking all about the 20 game winners and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. They're Joe's in the comments. My internet doesn't want to hear me talk. Yeah, man, I'm removing you. It's just me now. So I'm just going to hang out and we'll see when you come back. If you do, if not, I guess I'll do this alone. But I don't know. I don't know who else could be that guy. Marcus Stroman, I'm kind of with Joe. I don't know if he fits. And I've never been the biggest Marcus Stroman guy. I mean, he hasn't pitched more than 150. He's pitched more than 150 innings twice in his career. And he's been in the league for 7 years. He's had some injury problems. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. I don't know if he would be a good fit. I will say I do like Dope Redbeard's idea. How about Carlos Rodon? But I don't think he leaves the White Sox either. Of course, the White Sox, they don't pay anyone. That's not even slander. That's just the truth. They never pay anyone. The most they've ever paid someone was Yasmani Grandal, and that was $80 million. So of course, Rodon, this is his one good year. Well, he was a decent. Joe is back. I think. I don't know. We're having a tough scene. He is frozen again. Okay, I'm gonna remove him. But Rodon, yeah, he's solid. He's been good all year. He's going through a dead arm situation right now because he's never pitched this many innings. I would be interested to see what his market is, though. The Cubs were kind of in on him going into this offseason, and he was someone or the last offseason, he was someone that I wanted them to get, and then they didn't, and I was kind of mad about it. So maybe they should hire me to be in the front office, huh? Yeah? I'm just saying. So, who else? Let's see here. Dope Redbeard, you're making this job so much easier since Joe's internet sucks here. Is he back? He's back.
I might be back. We'll try one more time.
Move your mic back a little bit there, brother. There you go.
Too close?
Just a little too close there. I've been kind of all over the place since you left because we were talking about pitchers. But Dope Redbeard's really helping out. He mentions wouldn't mind giving Gossman a look, but he might command some money with the season he's having. Yeah, that's very true. Very, very, very true. But yeah, he's been very good. I mean, we saw it ourselves. He dominated the Cubs this year in his one start against them.
I don't really think it's the best idea in this offseason to maybe look at top of the line starters, especially with the free agents, the class that's coming. Maybe they're more looking at to fill out the bottom of the rotation or just lengthen it, and maybe go for it the year after, or in a trade or something. I just because we all want to be back in the hunt and stuff doesn't mean it's going to happen right away, or that it's best for it to happen right away. You got to take what's given, and what's being given doesn't seem like it's the greatest this coming off season.
Yeah, well, and that's why I said bottom of the rotation. I didn't even ask for top of the rotation. But you know, I don't know. It's just, I do think that, like, when I think about bottom of the rotation guys, like, for instance, in 2015, Kyle Hendricks was like the number 5 starter in the Cubs rotation. And then in 2016, he went from starting the season as the number 5 guy to being like the number 3 guy, would have been number 2 if Luster and Arrieta weren't so good. Like, they kind of found a diamond in the rough, and then Kyle Hendricks turned out to be as consistent as a pitcher the Cubs have ever had. And someone who, honestly, if he pitches like this for another 5-6 years, the Cubs will have to eventually extend him. But, you know, if he plays or pitches like he has the last 3-4 years for another, 4 or 5 years, you can argue put a damn statue out there for him too, because Definitely. he's been very good throughout his entire career at the Cubs. And, the thing is whenever he started with the Cubs, they didn't have high expectations of him. I mean, he was scouted as like a number 4 starter, So Dope Redbeard mentioned Carlos Rodon, who, if it wasn't for injuries, he probably would have never been non-tendered by the White Sox and then picked up by them like in the offseason anyway. But he's also never pitched as many innings as he has this year, and which is why he's going through like a dead arm syndrome right now, and he got put on the IL. But I'm interested to see like how he pitches the rest of the year and in the postseason, because it's going to depend on how much money he gets. Joe, your internet sucks, man. What is going on with your internet? You froze again.
Hey, look at that.
Oh, there, you're back. Cool.
I was about to text you and just say, move on without me.
Dope Redbeard says again, I could see a rotation next year. Hendricks, Owsley, Steele, Thompson, Davies. If they bring back Zach Davies, I might go jump into Lake Michigan, brother. Quite literally.
I think it'll depend on what kind of free agents, like what kind of success they have in free agency. If they bring back Davies or not. If they feel like they're having a very competitive one, I don't think you're going to see him come back. But I think if they're maybe thinking of postponing that success to the next season, or hoping for that success the next free agents season, then you'll see Davies back.
I would rather give someone I don't know. I'm looking at a list, I don't know what James Paxton's done, but I know he hasn't been able to stay healthy for the last couple years. I don't know. Maybe someone like that. Maybe the Cubs can get him to rebound. I don't know. I'm here. Noah Syndergaard's another name that we haven't mentioned, and he would probably be cheap because he's not pitching at all this year. And he's had injury problems too. So I'm interested in what his free agent market would be, but it can't be too much. No one's gonna give him a ton of money.
I don't think the Cubs are gonna go after a ton of guys that have the injury history, because what kind of, there really is no upside to that, especially if they call a little bit of a higher price, because if they are injured all year, they literally provide nothing. They can't provide a trade. They can't provide any trade value if they're not on the field. And the Cubs, who knows what the Cubs season next year is going to look like? They might be looking to flip guys. Yeah, not as extreme as this last season, but that. Just look how we ended up getting Jake Arrieta and Pedro Strop, or who was the pitcher in that trade? Feldman and Steve Clevenger went for those two guys. Right, and obviously it's an extreme case, but that's that is a very possible situation that the Cubs are in next season. So you need guys that you are confident will be on the mound or on the field in general, not necessarily a pitcher. For that, that's has to be worst case scenario, and Zach Davies is one of those guys. I guess. It would just be it would not be fun. It would not get fans excited. It would not get people to want to go and buy tickets. I really think there's a very high chance you see Trevor Williams back again, especially with him being optioned. I mean, he's in the minors right now. They might be able to sign him on a minor league contract. Who knows? If they sign Trevor Williams on a minor league contract, I would be really happy, just because like there is no downside, because he could just spend the entire year in the minors.
Oh, like even it wouldn't even. I guess I wouldn't mind it if it meant that like there was a pitcher that could be called up next year. And right now, I don't know who that guy would be. Like maybe Ryan Jensen. Like Ryan Jensen might be the closest thing to that. Maybe he's spent most of the year in South Bend. Like maybe next year they start him in Double-A, and he moves up the ranks, and by mid-season he's in Triple-A, and comes up in September. I don't know. Like I keep hearing ever since like the Cubs have started this rebuild, all I keep hearing is like no one really cares what people are doing in Triple-A. People just care what you're doing in like single and Double-A, and like it's like it really doesn't matter what you're doing when you get to Triple-A. It's just all about like there's a significant difference between the talent levels from single and Double-A. So with pitchers it's different though. Like what we saw from Justin Steele yesterday, the people who were down on it were like, well, he was throwing like 90 to 94, 91, 94. And he only had one strikeout and, gave up the homers, whatever. But then also, he gave you a quality outing, 5 innings, 3 earned. Like, it wasn't the best start. It wasn't.
Well, I think you got to take the weather into account yesterday.
Yeah. And you take the weather for sure. What I'm trying to say is that there's growing pains with young pitchers when they come up. Like there's very few where you don't have that. And I feel like with Steele and Thompson, we probably will have that.
He got outs for 5 innings with only 1 strikeout. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty positive sign of maturity.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying that it also wasn't just the most fantastic thing in the world either.
Of course not.
So and I think it's just all part of the learning curve. And you're going to get this same thing with Thompson. And then Alzolay is interesting because, I feel like he had such a great start against the White Sox. It was kind of like a turning corner from him. He gave up the hard hit to Moncada on Saturday. Or whatever day it was, and then he was really good after that. That lineup's really fucking good. So
yeah,
I'm hoping he builds off it. I mean, he went 6 2/3 in that one. So you're just kind of hoping that the last like 4 or 5 starts he has, like it's kind of showing him turn the corner. Because if he gives you 6, 7 innings in these last month and a half of the season, like that has you feeling a lot different about him going into next year. Again, don't think they need like a top arm or anything, but like just the innings eater, like their own version of Edwin Jackson, but just like actually like serviceable, like good. Like when Theo signed Edwin Jackson, people thought he was at least going to eat innings, and he barely did that. He helped the tank, man. That's all he did.
I mean, we have Jake Arrieta eating innings right now, but he's not even like good enough to like.
I don't even think he's looking like Edwin Jackson out there, to be honest with you.
What kind of deal did they sign on? I don't even know.
With Arrieta or Edwin Jackson?
Yeah, Arrieta. Was it 1 year?
It's like 2 year or 1 year with a club option for next year that they're not going to pick up, because I think he makes $10 million next year if they pick it up. Yeah. They're sure as hell not going to pick that up, and if they did, then they need to fire Jed. There's a hot take for you, but they're not going to do that. So.
You're gonna see Arrieta's name floating around like, hey, Jake Arrieta's throwing a bullpen for 10 teams, and it's like the middle of May, like with Cole Hamels, except like nobody's excited for it.
All right. Cody Hoyer's coming in the game now for the Cubs, so that's exciting, I guess. You excited?
Yeah, I've liked what I've seen of Cody Hoyer, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I have too.
That arm angle is pretty funky, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Strikeout update for Corbin Burnes. He's gone 8 innings, 15 strikeouts. So he's not going to get Kerry Wood's freaking record. So suck on that, Milwaukee.
Drop their strikes. Well, he threw 22 pitches last inning. I doubt they'll put him back out there. He's at 99.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. In a game like this, they should have taken him out of the 7th if they're thinking long term about him. But it is what it is.
I mean, 70. The difference between 77 and 99 pitches really isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. But so I tweeted tonight the that tweet I tagged you and Joe and was just like, submit some questions to us and we'll read them off and whatever, because like, what is there to talk about this game? There really isn't, you know what I mean? So, not many people really participated, but I will read one. This first one's from Garrett from Iowa. His question is Wisdom part of the 2022 NL Central champion Cubs? And I'll just start with saying that if they're winning the division next year, I feel like Patrick Wisdom's part of the team. I think he's earned himself a spot. You know what I mean? What do you think?
I think if we're assuming that the Cubs are 2022 NL Central champs, that Patrick Wisdom continues this, what he's done this year into next year and does it over 140, 150 games. So I think, those two have to go together. I mean, he's earned a spot on the team next year. There's no question about it. Whether he's able to continue the success, we'll just have to wait and see. But he's got the job. Like whether it's an everyday job, I don't know, but he's got a job.
I don't know if you noticed or if you saw it in the Cubs Slack. There was like a graphic. Someone like made a graphic and they had like next year's squad like in the names or whatever on a diamond, and they had Matt Duffy at third and Patrick Wisdom at first. And I think I'm high on Matt Duffy. Like if you've listened to the show all season, like I've been very high on Matt Duffy. But I think Matt Duffy is better off as your like utility guy playing either third or second base, one of those two, maybe some short if you absolutely needed him to.
I think you're right based on the fact that in that same picture it was Magical and Horner playing second and short. You can't have another guy who can't hit a home run.
Right. So I would personally like Wisdom at third base.
Oh, he's great there at third base.
And re-sign fucking Rizzo. And
I think,
and again, Matt Duffy could be off the. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's still hope, but like if Matt Duffy, Nico Horner, Nick Madrigal, and Patrick Wisdom are this team's infield next year, we should all fucking riot outside the fucking marquee. Like that's not gonna get it done.
No, I think they'll sign a first baseman. I don't know if Matt Duffy is he what kind of deal is he on?
He's just like on a 1-year deal, man. Like
I don't think the Cubs are going to re-sign him. I think better. I think he's better off going to a place where he can actually fulfill a role. The Cubs don't like if you're not competing. What kind of role does a utility guy is always needed. That's why it's utility. But like it's just not as necessary on a team that's not probably going to compete.
I think he's worth bringing back if he can stay healthy, and then you can flip him at the deadline.
I totally would not be upset if Matt Duffy was on the Cubs next year. I don't see it making sense for him necessarily.
Yeah.
So I think
I get what you're saying.
I think his services are better off somewhere else. I mean, he's going to get similarly. He's not going to get a ton of money, and he'll get that same amount likely somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like you're not telling me the Dodgers couldn't take him right now. The Dodgers need every position right now. They're dropping like flies. Yeah, I guess they just got Trey Turner. So.
I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Like that. I understand what you mean. Like
it's gonna be. I mean, it's going to be a team like that, like how the Cubs were, kind of hoping to be this year.
Just try to just bolster depth. Yes,
right.
I agree.
Right. He's
like for sure, he could definitely be that for sure. I just think that if you want to have some depth and also have some pieces to flip at the deadline, Matt Duffy, he had a great April and was having a decent May until they put him on the IL for 2.5 months, and he's been very blah since he's came back. So he hasn't really proved anything that we didn't know.
Right.
He's a good contact bat. We have a lot of contact bats. But I don't think he should be a starter every day. I think he should be a utility guy, and he would be a utility guy on any other team. So I don't know. The point of what I'm saying is if like Patrick Wisdom should be the third baseman next year, even if they did find a way to re-sign Chris Bryant, but Chris Bryant would be in the outfield. Like he's got to go to the outfield full time at this point in his career, in my opinion. But whatever. And it's just pointing to like what the Cubs could do with bringing back one of those guys. And I feel like Rizzo would be the most likely one.
Yeah.
Everything that's been said in media and everything, it is what it is. Maybe they air out their grievances and they come together in the offseason. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But anyway, let's move on to the next question. Who do you guys want to see as September call-ups? Also, do we see guys like Davies, Ortega, and Happ offer contracts at the end of the year? So that's 2 questions from Dope Redbeard from earlier tonight. Thank you, Aaron, for always participating. I'll start. As far as September call-ups, I do keep hearing a lot about Ben Leeper and AAA. Michael Hermosillo, I would actually like him now, like not September, but like now. And then also Nick Martini, I think deserves to be on the roster. He would probably have a better at bat than fucking Ian Happ does or is having the last like 2 weeks. I like Ian Happ, man. I do, but I also like this guy's. It's just like Albert Almora. He has been given every fucking chance to be the everyday center fielder, and this guy's hitting like 180. You know what I mean? Like, either take the job or go. Like that. That's what it is at the end of the day, man. And I say it like because I care, not because I don't like him. But he's been given every chance. And there are other guys who didn't get chances who have gone on to other places and been good. A la Tommy La Stella is a good example. He was a bench guy, didn't get everyday at-bats, gets traded to the Angels, turns into one of the best contact hitters in the game. Now he's with the Giants, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best example. Because Tommy La Stella is not an everyday player. But I understand what you mean. Like, you're totally right about Ian Happ being having every single opportunity, and more.
He definitely has. Right. Man. I will argue that forever.
No, you're totally right, and and you're right. At some point, like, you have to do something. Like you're not showing much promise. He had a good 2020, but then he kind of honestly tailed off. Like, it's not like he didn't sustain it through the entire season,
right?
So that doesn't maybe give you the most optimism. I think they're going to give him one more chance.
I was so wrong. I was so wrong about Tommy La Stella this year. Maybe it's because he's been hurt. He only has 87 at bats, but before this year, he was killing it, man.
But he's just not an everyday player.
That's true.
That's the difference. I understand the sentiment, but he's just not an everyday player.
He definitely got. Well, that's so fucking crazy. Well, no, okay. In 2019, he was an all-star. I was looking at the wrong dates.
He was an all-star?
He was an all-star in 2019. He was also, he was 30 years old, 2019, all-star with the Angels. Had 321 plate appearances. Hit 295, 346, 486, 16 homers. This is the best year of his career. But I don't know if you remember. I believe he didn't even get to go to the All-Star game because he got hurt like right before it.
Really?
Yeah.
But I think you're going to see Happ for one more season if he's not. If he continues this, they're not even going to wait to get rid of him.
Yeah. Omar Narvaez just hit a 2-run homer, so it's now 10-0.
Nice.
So what are some September call-ups that you're interested in, perhaps? Or did I say them all? And if I did, I'm sorry.
No. I mean, Hermosillo is a good one. I think a guy who just has not been able to find his way in the major league roster is Ian Miller. Like, that guy, I mean, he's not like a young prospect, but that man deserves a shot to it to earn himself a job, whether it's with the Cubs or somebody else. I think that's a good one. Nick Martini, you're totally right. I mean, he had a chance for a little bit, but at this point, might as well. Like, what's your reasoning as to not? And then other than that, I mean, it's just pitchers like Ben Leeper would be great. It would just be great to see some, young arms. Just continue seeing the young arms. The position. I mean, there's not really a lot of ready position players for the Cubs, or like anywhere near.
Except for Brennan Davis, perhaps, but you're not going to call him. You're not going to call him up, though.
This is not the right time.
No.
But
if I had to choose one, he would be the one that I would be like, yeah, he's ready to go, but he's not. He's definitely not.
Like, at some point, we have to see Miguel Amaya. I mean, this is probably not the year to do it, but at some point, we have to see a Miguel Amaya. And then Braylon Marquez, he really hasn't. I don't think he's pitched at all this year, so we're not seeing him this year again.
No.
Other than that, Hermosillo, Ian Miller, Ben Leeper. That's really the ones that come to mind. Nick Martini. There's nothing like, oh, we got to see this guy. There's none of that right now.
No, there really isn't. Dope Redbeard in the comments. He's with us. He says Hap and Dylan Maples are two guys that have had their hand held for too long.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree, especially about fucking Dylan Maples. But you know why I'm actually okay that they've held on to him as long as they have? Because you fucking know, Joe, that the moment they let him go, he's going to go to another team and they're going to figure him out. And then we're going to look like a bunch of fucks. You know,
I don't
it.
think so. I don't.
I definitely feel like that would happen. It would be so Cubes.
And I think, but at some point, I'm willing to be wrong on Dylan Maples at this point.
I'm with you. I really
am. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the most frustrating guys the Cubs have ever had that I'm just kind of like, what? But, I don't try to compare Ian Happ and Albert Almora, but, I mean, you just look at the trajectory of their careers with the Cubs, and it's, like, literally the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really is. Maybe they called up Ian Happ too early, but he had a great 2017. I think he had almost a 2 WAR in his rookie year. That's pretty good for a rookie season. And then since like 2018, he had a down year. 2019 started the year in the minors because he had a bad 2018. It had a strikeout rate above 35% in 2018. Starts the year in the minors 2019 to get his strikeout rate down, comes up. He's fucking hot. Whatever. It was hot for a month in 2020. And now he's back to a 2018 version of Ian Happ. And it's even worse, honestly. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I really don't know, man. It's I don't want to send him down. It's not that I say that we should send him down because that's not going to help his confidence at all. But like he's also a guy that's like it'd be so Cubs for him to go to another team and figure it out. Because he is only 26. He has more talent than Albert Almora. I'll say that much.
Definitely. But, I mean, there's stuff there. That's the frustrating part. Like there's something there. I mean, you wouldn't get this many shots if there wasn't something there. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Just like Dope Redbeard, if you want to throw that comment up, the center field has not been a secure position for the Cubs since Dexter left, which is completely right. That and the leadoff spot, which goes hand in hand.
John Jay, man. John Jay. They should have kept him around after 2017.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we wouldn't have him now, but I mean, 2018, 2019 might have been a little bit different if they kept John Jay around. He was the freaking leadoff man going into the postseason for the Cubs in 2017. But yeah, ever since he left, it's been tough scene out there. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, they haven't figured out the leadoff spot, and like nobody on the roster is leadoff has leadoff hitter qualities.
Yeah,
that's the frustrating part.
I mean, I will say Ortega looks nice out in center. He doesn't look like a bad outfielder.
Yeah,
I just don't.
Right, like right now he's a hot hitter. It's great. Yeah. It's awesome for him. He's gonna earn himself a job, which is that's what it's awesome. He's earning himself a job by going out there and having success. But like, what kind of faith do you have that it's like?
I feel like he would be a good like fourth outfielder. Like he was like the sixth outfielder before everyone was traded, right? So he got like no chances. But I feel like he'd be a solid fourth outfielder, left-handed bat off the bench. Like decent defense, has some speed, has a nice his approach isn't bad. But do I want him playing in center field every fucking day? No.
Exactly.
So, let's see here. What else is Dope Redbeard saying?
He says, what kind of qualities do you want as a leadoff hitter?
Yeah.
I mean, it's subjective. Like it's not It depends on what kind of offense you're looking for. First off, like Dexter was perfect for what the Cubs needed because he still he could provide literally he could hit a leadoff home run. He could he could walk, steal a base, and obviously that's just describing a player, like a good player. So that's it's hard. It's not easy to find. But
he just got on base. Like at the end of the day,
Right.
your leadoff hitter, it's someone who got on base. Dexter Fowler had a career year in 2016. Go look on freaking Baseball Reference. His career high on base percentage was in 2016. He had like a 380 on base or some shit like that.
I remember it was the whole "you go, we go."
Yep.
Like from Joe Madden to Dexter Fowler. Like it was stuff like that. And Nico and Madrigal, I don't know if those guys really fit the bill because they're better suited. They're not the guys that get the ball rolling. They're the ones that keep it rolling. If that makes sense. They're the guys who, I mean, they're not going to be run drive. You're not going to run providers, but they're going to get that guy from second to third. They're going to get that guy in from third with a fly ball or a ground ball. Like they're those guys. And that's why they fit in the 2-hole or they fit the 8-hole. That's what sucks.
Madrigal was batting leadoff for the White Sox this year.
Right. And it's not the worst thing,
I think next year Madrigal will start out as the leadoff hitter. Like I think they're just going to roll with that.
I think if nothing changes, I think if nothing changes, that's probably what it is. And that wouldn't upset me whatsoever. But like I said, they're the guys that keep the ball rolling. They're not the ones that start the innings. Yeah. They can be, but they're not. Yeah. They're the guys that you can depend on to move the runner and get them in. Like baseball, that's stuff that's how you succeed when stuff's not going your way. Is keeping runners moving.
Yeah. Well, the Cubs are going. We got the bottom of the 9th inning here, and the Cubs are down 10-0. So we got a real barn burner here, folks. Before anything else, before we move to, I guess, talking about tomorrow's game, man, or anything before I say anything else. Anything at all?
Oh! I thought you were going for something. No. Not. It kind of sucks that Omar Navarro or Cody Hoyer gave him a home run, but
yeah, whatever. Yeah. Omar Navarro, I looked at his numbers and he's
really good this season.
He's been having a really good season. So
he was on the White Sox. White Sox let him go.
No one talks about it. No one talks about it.
Talking about something nobody talks about. I was talking to a couple of my friends. One's a Red Sox fan, one's a Cardinals fan. So we're talking how upset he's like. It was right after the Cubs got swept by the Sox. He goes, "How upset are you about the Cubs giving up Eloy and Cease?" And I'm like, "It sucks, but it doesn't bother me to my core." Stuff like that happens all the time. If it wasn't Cubs to White Sox, it's not as notable. It's definitely notable, but it's not as notable. You're not getting thank you at Cubs just to nonstop if it wasn't that way. The White Sox gave up Fernando Tatis for James Shields. And yes, Tatis is 16 when they did it, but still that's pretty substantial. And you're just and you don't have Padres fans tweeting at White Sox, thank you for Tatis. That's not happening unless I'm mistaken. That's not. So that's why I'm I look back at Quintana's numbers before the Cubs traded for him. They weren't good. I don't know what they were. It was a 4 ERA for that season. I don't know what.
In 2017 he was kind of having a down year, but if you look at his numbers in a whole with his entire tenure with the White Sox, he was one of the better pitchers in the American League. So
and so that's why it's not going to bother me to the day I die. Yeah, it sucks, and it especially sucks when the Cubs suck like this and they get their asses handed to them. Yeah, but it's not going to bother.
I would say the biggest trade or move that they didn't do that really bothered me the most was just, and I'll say this forever, is just keeping Addison Russell around as long as they did, man. Because if they had moved on from him a lot sooner, not only do you avoid all the controversy and all of the shit, the bullshit from the media because of his stupidity, but you also figure out what to do with that position earlier. And perhaps maybe things go differently in 2019.
I don't know. I don't know what much. Like the only thing that they could have done differently was get rid of him sooner, and they would have had more time to figure it out. But I don't know if that really would have helped much. Who knows?
First, I'm not even saying like 20, like before 20 or going into 2019 season. I'm talking like after 2017, like
just because it was play.
He had a down year in 2017 compared to 2016. He was, if you look at the advanced stats, he was like an average baseball player. Like weighted runs created was right around 100. Like he was an average baseball player. He was not anything spectacular. And, Javi Baez was starting to kind of emerge. And I just wonder at that time if they would have been able to move him and get some decent pieces back. And who knows what happens? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and then, like I said, what happened. And to me, it's still kind of has this dark cloud over the Cubs because of it, in my opinion. But anyway, man, let's move on to tomorrow's game because we're about 40 minutes in. And tomorrow's game is at 1:20, Thursday, 1:20 at Wrigley Field. Kyle Hendricks against Brandon Woodruff. Going to be a real fucking barn burner, folks. Garrett from Iowa jumps into the stream. He says, "Hey guys, just to cheer you up, they are making Mountain Dew booze."
Yeah, there's an article on that on OnTapSportsNet.com.
Hell yeah!
I don't know who wrote it, but I definitely saw it.
Nice little plug there, Joe.
Yeah. That's how I saw the news actually.
Oh, nice. I've been off the grid all day, so I have not seen it. I have to go find it. So tomorrow, the Cubs look to avoid the sweep. It's going to be really hard against that pitcher. Dude, your mic is, I don't know what it is, man, but it's coming in, like making noises and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe this mic sucks.
Anyway, there you go. I don't know what you're doing, but it stopped. What do you like for tomorrow, man? I mean, I know it's hard to really come up with anything, but I think perhaps I'll take the under on runs tomorrow.
I think I mean, that's definitely a possibility. You would hope. I think just anytime the Cubs are playing the Brewers, you look at Wilson Contreras, probably get hit. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get hit and then just park one in the bleachers just for fun. I mean, anytime Kyle Hendricks is on the mound, gets me a little bit excited. It'll move the needle just a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but
yeah. It is something that I guess, in times like these, like, well, all right, well, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to appreciate Kyle Hendricks.
Right.
He's quite literally the best pitcher we got.
Yep. So, isn't a bad thing.
No, not a bad thing. I don't really, you got a fly W player?
I'll go with Wilson Contreras.
All right, well then I'm gonna go with Kyle Hendricks. The game just went final. Cubs lose 10-0. An absolute shit show at Wrigley Field tonight. Thank God that thank God Burnes didn't get 11 straight strikeouts. It was just bad. But
pettiness.
It's just so we get 4 hits, 1 error, no runs. Just absolutely this. We got a tough last 40 games, folks. It's just gonna be tough. I don't know what else to say. It's just gonna be tough. I like Garrett from Iowa's comment though. Boys, cheer up! This is just practice for the 2022 division win. Hell yeah!
Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like those vibes, man. All right.
Thank you.
Anything else? I don't got anything else, man. Before we get out of here, though, everyone, like Joe said earlier, this podcast, Cubs on Tap, is brought to you by OnTapSportsNet.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at Cody on Tap. You can follow Joe at Joe Maris. You can follow On Tap Sportsnet at On Tap Sportsnet anywhere on social media. So go find us and give us a nice little follow, subscribe, whatever. Go read all our stuff. It's a lot of good content here. So, yeah, I got nothing else. Hopefully the Cubs can fucking win a game here or there. Maybe perhaps it will rain tomorrow and maybe we'll just won't have a game. I'd be okay with that too.
Why
All
not?
right. All right. Well, Joe, let's get out of here the only way we know how, man.
Yep. Let's go Cubs.
Let's go Cubs.